我的朋友 Loop 这里 I am back. So just continuing where we left off, we were about to fix or expose, dirty, expose some information regarding what the nav mesh agent is actually doing, so that we can detect if the ship is trying to go somewhere but can't get there. I was just checking the stream to make sure it is going, and I just realized that my cute little avatar is not talking. Wait, was he not talking last stream? I thought he was. Yes, he was. Okay. He just didn't know which microphone. Yep. Let's do this. Actually, I do have access to the nav mesh agent directly, so I can just access that. There's going to be a little bit of guess and check here because I'm a little bit. Oh, I got the speak right there. I'm a little bit fuzzy between Unity's nav mesh agent versus Aaron A-Star's. They're very similar, but they're very different in some ways. So, like, one of them or both of them have a desired velocity. Yeah, see, desired velocity. We need to go to collect order, and we're going to check if the nav mesh agent.desired velocity is really low. It's not bulletproof, but hopefully this is going to check. Currently out of range, and nav mesh agent can't find the path there. Actually, another way to do this might be something about like remaining distance. There you go. Well, yeah, I'm not. As I said, there's gonna be a little bit of guess and check here, so we're just gonna try that, see if it works. Pathfinding is always a challenge. Okay, let's just test that. Oh, know what I should do? I should synchronize the wind with the flags. Not that it's a very critical feature, just that it's a nice bit of polish. Fast forward upgrade. There is an upgrade somewhere. Legal skill tree. It is very good. Go find ourselves. Discovery Center. Alright, so that guy didn't hire last time. Why is that? Before we click on it, we're going to investigate. Hi, buddy. What you doing? Because it's not enabled. Well, whoop. Now it's enabled. Oh, I activated the game object. I guess I need to. Okay. That will fix it in the future. This one is the only one that's going to be right. Alright, so. Don't like the fact that the tree spawned in it. That's not the end of the world. It's very so that animation is a little deep, but now I can explore it. I'm getting artifacts. Those artifacts are mysteriously going straight to the bank, which it should not do. That is the artifacts going into the bank, which it should not do. I think I know why. Alright. Chat, it's your job. Remind me. We're going to check we're going to make the wind synchronize. We're going, with the flags, we're going to fix the collect order from dropping off into bank, quote unquote bank, or your account. And then there was something else. Oh, fix animation of discovery. Okay, so fix this. We need to, let's do the collect order thing. So because originally, as stated earlier, the collect order was only designed to pick up coins originally for like finding treasures. But now it finds all sorts of things. So I did fix the issue with it not collecting all, or collecting forever, I should say. Here's the transfer. Something else that needs fixing, I just remember, is discovery occurs when paused. So you can have the game paused and your ship can still make progress on discovery. Okay, so so if it is transferred to the player, I guess I didn't really do that, but whatever. All right, so we're going to. So what this, how it works ordinarily with Big Camp Gold coins is that you transfer from the treasure chest usually to the ship, and then it bounces from the ship to the top right corner. So we need to check if it is transferred to the player, then it is going to drop off. So if it is transfer player, it's not going to drop off at the ship, because this would be true, which is false. If it is not transferred to the player, then it's going to be flipped. False will be flipped to true, which will drop off on the ship. Similarly, if it is transferred to the player, then we need to keep this false by default. It is false by default. I don't need this. Because this is what once the transport of the ship, this is what transports it to the top right corner. Don't need to bother with that. All right. That should fix the collect order. Always dropping off the bank. It should go in the ship. Let's fix the animation of discovery. We can do. So this is just directly changing the position. What we really want to do is update the position over time. Use a coroutine for this. Coroutine is a Unity's evil but occasionally useful exploitation of enumerators in C#, letting you run a function over time, essentially. Are these flags? They're not flags. But really, I just want to check if I'm not running. So if it's not running, if it's null, meaning it's never run, or it's not running, then we need to make it. Up. Then this is going to, while the animation's not done. So we need to know what the completed states are. I'm just going to go infinitely. It's a straight lerp in that. So fun fact, so lerping, you're really just going a percentage closer to the destination, so you technically never make it to your destination. Because you're always going a percentage less than. Hello, FB3 Network. How are you doing? I am sorry, I never responded to you, and I am kind of a jerk for that reason. Glad to hear you're doing great. I am very sorry that I did not apologize. Sorry, I'm very sorry I did not. I'm very sorry that I did not respond to you. I was in a, as I mentioned in my stream a few days ago when I started streaming again. Awkwardly nowhere loading. You know, I've spent years on nowhere loading, and it was losing wish lists every day. And it was very, very demotivating. Like, I love the game to bits, I know I've made many mistakes. I learned a lot as well. And it just, the idea of trying to push the game to release, it just wasn't appetizing. I knew and know that the game has some elementary issue of attracting people to wishlist. There's many potential reasons. You know, the look of the game. Like, I really don't think that kind of virtual look I was going for with, you know, everyone says it looks like the VR game look, was actually a good idea. I always lean on that art style because it's easier, but I think a lot of game developers abuse that art style because it's a bit easier. I mean, there's many potential reasons. Obviously, the game itself had its various issues and iterations. Like, I went from, originally Overloading was just Roger versus goblins, and then I changed it to survival trials where it's Roger essentially training himself. I think that was a bad pivot. Well, I'm glad you do. So, I mean, what I really need is to have one of these games do all right. And so there's an unfortunate similar story with Microannihilation, and I realize this is a very bad trend I've started for myself. I'm just laying it all out there. I'm giving you my honest feelings here. So Microannihilation, very similar thing. I released it to early access. I worked on it for months, had a lot of these huge updates. I was very proud of Microannihilation. But again, I think aesthetically it was just not attracting people. I think the aesthetic of Microannihilation is more easily repaired than the aesthetic of No Reloading. I think I can also fix some of the gameplay things that needs to be adjusted for No Reloading. Like, I should just release a version of No Reloading Survival Trials and just make it its own little itty bitty game, like a prequel or whatever, and then really focus on the normal No Reloading where you're fighting goblins. I think that version is way more endearing because you're a robot saving your dog from goblins. I think the fantasy of playing a virtual training simulation with your dog, although cute, it is cute. I just don't think it's as enticing of a fantasy. Like, everyone can be like, yeah, save the dog, kill the evil goblins. But like, playing with your dog who's wearing a VR headset, like, it's just a little too weird, I guess, maybe. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's as immediately gripping, right? Big part of indie game development is making sure your Steam page is just immediately enticing, immediately, like, oh, that's weird. I want to know more. And you just hit wishlist. Like, when people wishlist, it's a very guttural, emotional decision. And so, similarly, the game being early access, I think, actually hurts the game's ability to succeed, because it's a guttural thing. Most people don't trust early access, and they have full rights to not trust it. So that is all to say. It's a very long rambling explanation of, I have changed my strategy tremendously. Fleet Tycoon, as you see here, well, you're seeing the code of, which I will play here momentarily, but Fleet Tycoon is a much smaller game, due to be released in 1 month. Just not going to early access. We're just going to release it to full. It is a much less elaborate experience. No Reloading required a campaign. Microannihilation required a campaign where, yeah, I used random generation, all stuff, because I love random generation, but it still required a lot of handmade content. I had to build those rooms, and then I had to make them randomly fit together and have random alterations and stuff. It's a lot of work. And again, I loved it all. I love my customization. I love Norway. I love all the games I work on. But it was a lot of effort to get the game done. Fleet Tycoon here is super tiny. It is the Balatro of Transport Tycoon games. You use ships to buy and sell goods, and you upgrade your ships and your fleet and yourself through massive upgrade trees. Of course, doing my own Zoop flavor of random generation. The trees are randomly generated. The environment's randomly generated, but at its core, it essentially is Transport Tycoon with boats, and you use upgrades to make your ships faster, trade faster, make more gold, etc. And you get this kind of explosive growth, just like Balatro. So, no problem. I'm very happy to make people stay. That's all I'm really trying to do. I'm just trying to go back to my olden days. So, ironically, your username named FB3 Network. My first game was called Paintball 3 Extreme. PB3 was the acronym, and that game was really my first and most successful game I've ever had by a long shot. And that was 25 years ago now. So every game since then, I've really been, well, especially as time has marched on, every game since then has been hoping to recreate that community I had back then. That community was awesome, very tight-knit, very 2000s. We just all corresponded on forums. I felt like it was just a very positive feedback loop of, I was very young at the time. I just kind of made whatever looked cool to me, sounded cool to me, and then I released it, and people loved it, and they would talk in the forums, which inspired me to keep adding more. It was just this very positive feedback loop of just people getting along, I guess. I like making things, and I like it when people like what I'm making. Yes, very coincidental. Ever since paintball, I've been trying to do that, and obviously as I get older, I more and more recognize how special that was to have Paintball 3 Extreme and its community. Many things I didn't even know, like when I was running it, I had no clue that Paintball 3 Extreme was popular enough that it was played in other countries, that they were playing it in internet cafes in Asia and South America. I had no clue. Until much later, where people started joining my Discord. It's like, hey, I am from South America. I played your game in internet cafes. Like, what? Really? I had no clue. So I've learned to appreciate Paintball 3 Extreme and the community it had even more as I've gotten older. So yeah, little history lesson there, I guess. I'm just showing my heart to you all. So anyway, I'm happy to make you happy. That's all I really look forward to. That's all I seek. You did ask, if I recall, it's a long time since you messaged me, but you did ask for the full version. The playtest version is actually the full version. There is no demo or reduced version of no reloading. So you actually have the entire game as it sits. So please do enjoy. Yeah, I should have told you that honestly a long time ago, but I was kind of hiding in shame. I had, many years ago, I had to do the whole shameful thing of admitting to the Micro Annihilation fans that I was moving on to a new game. Um, so it was kind of the same scenario there. The difference is, unfortunately, No Reloading honestly had less active fans. Micro Annihilation actually, I am now starting to appreciate Micro Annihilation like I had Paintball 3 Extreme. Micro Annihilation was actually starting to build a very tiny community, very tiny. It was just a handful of people would check in occasionally, and but they actually were carrying conversations once in a while, and on the Discord. That's kind of the way I can tell just like how much vibe there is behind the game. Like if it starts building a community like Paintball 3 Extreme had, then it's like, oh, I'm doing something right. But as I released more updates, it seemed like people were less chatty. But what was happening is that the few people who got really into it played the game to death, I guess, and they moved on to other games as they should. Nova demo? No Reloading demo? I didn't release a No Reload demo. I think there's some kind of typo or something. Sorry. Please explain your meaning. What was it saying? Anyway, Micro Annihilation had more traction on the Discord than No Reloading ever did. So, yeah. I clearly should have... Oh! Game Expo. You were at... Yeah, oh. Sorry, I did not realize that you were from Nova Game Expo. There's a really funny story of, so I've went to DreamHack Atlanta twice, and I met a lot of cool streamers the first time I went to DreamHack Atlanta. Now, some of these streamers, in fact, many of them don't show their faces on stream. So I met them in person, during the first DreamHack Atlanta, and then the year went by, and I met some of them again, and for the life of me, I could not remember them. And the funny thing is, I had hung out on their streams numerous times, and because they don't show their faces or they use a virtual avatar, kind of like what I'm doing right now, I did not recognize them, and so I felt so bad. One of the bigger streamers who just loves my game was like, "Hey, I am so and so, and I love your game," and I'm like, "Oh, that's great," and I'm like, and he's like, clearly, like he's acting like he knows me, and I'm just racking my brains, like, why can't I recognize this guy? Like, I should have seen his face. He streamed my game, and then he walked away, and then just clicked. It's like, oh my god, I feel like such an idiot. It's like it's a virtual streamer guy. And I did remember, but it was after he walked away, and I had to apologize to him. But next time I saw him in person, it's so embarrassing, but very, very funny. Internet is weird, where you can get to know people, but you won't see their face, and so when you see them a year later, you totally forget who they look like. But anyway, same issue with you. Sorry, FB Network. Since all I've seen is your username, I can't put your face to the name. Please don't hold it against me. Yeah, internet's weird like that. Which is funny because it's one day it's going to happen to me. So, because I don't show my face typically, inevitably someone's going to be like, "Who are you?" Yes, and life has changed a lot since February. I moved to Japan. So I have overburdened my brain aplenty. Sometimes it is just amazing where life takes you. That doesn't exist outside. That makes sense. Well, FB3, what have you been up to since the time I abandoned you? Sorry again. I'm just gonna keep making fun of myself until I feel better, which might never happen. It's the way I punish myself. What has been your biggest videos thus far? Using whichever parameters for biggest you wish. Most views, most biggest project to create, etc. Yes, content creation is very tough. Heck, maybe you can teach me a few things. Uh, Whichever you want. This year, in general, I'm sure you've got something exciting to share. I am intrigued because I don't do nearly enough social media content creation stuff for ZoopTech. It is something that I really need to do, and I really need to learn well. So I'm just all ears to hear what you've been doing, what works, what doesn't work, what cool experiences you've had, like, you know, just like my Paintball 3 Extreme story. That is a cool, you know, creating friendship and community across the internet experience, and that's what social media is really supposed to be about. Nice side note, this animate discovery coroutine is going to be started whenever we are not fully discovered, and only if it's not already running. And if it's running, it's going to keep looping. It's going to skip a frame, and it is going to use lerp instead to move the cover up to its latest position and the collectible itself to its discovered position. Lerping it should make it smoother. Turbo dismount, oh my goodness. I played the original Turbo dismount way back in the day when it was a Flash game, I guess. I remember seeing many years ago that they made a Steam version. I didn't realize they had a sequel. Also intriguing, the Killer Bean. I remember someone showed me like Killer Bean. I think it was some fan of No Reloading, I think. Killer Bean is really weird because it also started, I think, as a Flash animation, and then it turned into a game. Uploading a video every day is nigh impossible. Many years ago, 2019 or something, for another game that went nowhere, Forging Glory, I tried to do daily videos, and that sucked up too much of my time. Interestingly, because of short videos, yeah, I understood. Because of short videos and the weird attraction to low quality nowadays, I struggle to understand this concept, but the current strategy with indie games, anyway, or a strategy with indie games, is to essentially release very short, very lazy videos of your game. You know, just really just hack it together and release frequently onto TikTok. But the interesting thing with that strategy is that you're actually essentially rewarded for the low quality. You're rewarded because it feels authentic, I guess. Again, I don't really understand this. Like, I don't know. To me, it's a very unusual thing. I can't describe it. I've always like, even when I was a kid making games, like I always strived to be like a notch more professional, or I guess, I don't know. I just tried to make my stuff look like it was made by a competent person. I don't know. It's just part of, I don't know, maybe as a kid, because I was a kid, I was just having the fantasy of being a game developer, but like I tried to make things reasonable and smooth and look legitimate, not like a kid had built it. And now it's really awkward for me, because now as an adult, you know, like the marketing strategy, it's no, you gotta be authentic, you gotta be cool and chill, and it like reminds me of like being in high school, where you're trying to like look as lazy as possible, but you put a lot of effort into looking as lazy as possible, like, and that's what makes it cool. Like, to me, that's what social media is putting just the right amount of vague effort so that people are intrigued by you and your content. I don't know, you can tell me, you educate me. Like, I know that long videos, it's a little different. Longer videos, if you're making those 20-minute videos, it's, you know, quality and editing matters more, and the posting frequency doesn't matter as much. Well, that is a charming, delightful, positive philosophy. I mean, that is more so how I feel about actually making the game. Like, and I think that's how I felt like making each game when I'm in the thick of actually developing the game. It is like I do my best work when I'm getting feedback and players are, you know, just talking about the game, and I can, you know, watch them stream the game, what have you, or watch in person as I did long ago. That's really where I do my best work. And with these more recent games, I have not gotten much traction or consistent traction, and so that's when I start getting worried, and I start, ironically, trying harder to get some attention, and then I kind of break that philosophy you're proposing of like just let the game find its audience, let the game find its fun. I start, you know, getting, I don't know, critical, I guess. I get very try hard on myself, trying to make it work. All right, so in terms of what I'm trying to work on here, so I did fix the animation. Oops, I just sent what I was working on. Doesn't matter. I used the chat box as my notes to myself. When sync, fix animation discovery. I did that. Discovery occurs when pause. I can fix that. Yeah, and you know, the lesson I've learned from the last few games is just skip early access and release for real, and don't worry about it. As what you, just like you said, do what you enjoy and whatever makes you happy. Yes, exactly. I should just release the game to full and not be so worried about, oh no, people may not, I won't have enough wish lists, whatnot. Like, there's a lot of advice out there about how to properly release an indie game, and I'm not saying you should ignore it. You definitely should pay attention to it, but it's also not going to help you if you are paranoid about satisfying every step, and you end up kind of stepping on your own foot trying to do it right because you're worried that things are not going well. Again, I can't describe it very well. Essentially, to use a metaphor, it's kind of like when if you have to do a speech in school, right? You get so nervous about to do the speech, right? And you fumble more because you are nervous and you're worried about making mistakes, right? Whereas if you just go up there and just kind of tell yourself, it's okay, just do it, you tend to fumble less. Confidence is what matters. Confidence is a very interesting thing. It's not just confidence is almost like a superpower in a weird way. Too much confidence is definitely a bad thing, very bad thing. But confidence can works in strange and mysterious ways on the psyche. Thank you. When it comes to the actual building of the game, I have plenty of confidence. It's the concern that, you put effort in the game. You just, you don't want it to fail, right? And that's why the new strategy is to build smaller games. Using the same amount of heart I've put into every game, just make smaller games, because hopefully, besides the fact that, yes, that is, in and of itself, smaller games is a indie game strategy, but even just on a purely psychological level, you've less to lose if you spend only a few months on a game, right? Whereas like no reloading, Micro Annihilation, Forging Glory, like I spent years on each game. And so, as anyone would, you'll do anything to make that effort validated, right? All right. You've got me very chatty. Congratulations. Though I'm sure that my emotive storytelling is perhaps more interesting than the code. Let's see here. What is it going to do? Discovery occurs on pause. I'll need to check out some of your videos, FP3, because admittedly I don't know much about your channel, so I'm when I'm asking you questions about how things are going, I am being very genuine and requesting your full portrayal of what's going on. Was a was there a video you particularly liked? Maybe that's the one I'll watch first. Avoiding burnout is important. I think we've all heard stories of content creators burning out. It is very real on the game industry side of things. Uh, yes, you're talking about Doom. Why can't I remember the freaking subtitle? Um, the medieval themed one. I can't. Dark Ages. Uh, Doom Dark Ages. I watched a lot of videos about Doom Dark Ages. Maybe I did accidentally see your video because it intrigued me too. I haven't bought it yet. So speaking of burnout, one of my yes, thank you, Doom Dark Ages, the Dark Ages. One of my issues, I don't know, issues, whatever, obsessions. There you go. Is that like I have a very much a singular focus, and so when I'm working on a game, it's like the only thing I do besides I don't know living life. But when I'm sitting in front of the computer, I'm working on the game, and so I don't play many games. Like I will only play a game if I'm like really demotivated or I've had a really bad day or whatever. Then I will play a game. And right now, the game I usually play is Helldivers 2. Fantastic game. But Doom Dark Ages, I really should pick up and play. Doom Dark Ages intrigues me because I too made a first-person brawler. And I really was intrigued by Returnal, another game that I want to buy. I just never bought, never played it. I watched tons of videos about Returnal because I just thought it was so intriguing. The bullet hell in third person. So Doom Dark Ages is like this blend of shooter meets melee meets bullet hell. And it just intrigued me. It's it's on the list of games I want to play, but because I always put my computer time towards making the game, making my own game, I haven't played it. So, what was your take on Doom Dark Ages? Or you can tell me just to watch the video. Wow. I recall reading and watching. Yeah, Doom Dark Ages is very polarizing. It's like either you appreciate it or you get very upset because it's not the same as Doom Eternal. I think I will be like you, and I think I will enjoy Doom Dark Ages more than Eternal. Doom Eternal, you know that meme of the guy sweating playing a game? Yeah, that was me playing Doom Eternal. It was not comfortable to play. It was fun, but it was not comfortable. I did not like that it incentivized you to constantly weapon switch. you didn't have to play that way, but it really helped. Um, it was ironically, a lot of people say no reloading is like very um, button heavy. It's very twitchy. And the funny thing is, guess what? No reloading was born because of my experience with Doom Eternal. I love Doom Eternal, but I was like, you know what Doom Eternal needs is bullet time. So I can just like slow down a bit and like enjoy the game more instead of like frantically pressing buttons. um, so I think I will be like you and enjoy Doom the Dark Ages for that reason. It seems to be a little bit more slower, a little bit more methodical, which will make the game just more enjoyable. Sure, it's, the tryhards, the competitive players who really want that frantic experience, by all means, enjoy Eternal. That's great. I'm glad you guys found something that is so uniquely frenetic. But for me, I think I will enjoy Dark Ages more. Yeah, well, it sounds like you and I are on the same page there. And I enjoy the fantasy of Doom, Doom guy, eternally angry guy, just unleashes his hatred of demons no matter what. I don't know, it's such a ridiculous yet fun fantasy. A man who's just too angry at demons. He would never harm anything else except for a demon. and for that, he will do anything to harm a demon. Which is why I think in the Dark Ages, like him, being controlled is kind of funny, and I know that he eventually gets freed of that control, and I'm pretty sure it's because he just willpowers himself out of that control. Yes, too angry to die is, yes, the joke. To me, he's like, he is too, I don't know, it's something that tickles my brain about a man who's too angry at something so evil. So in a weird way, he is ultra good, but he technically isn't. I mean, he's, it's just his violence is just so specifically laser focused on something evil. I do realize I'm kind of splitting hairs, though. It's a very nuanced take on the Doomslayer to say that he's not like a traditional good guy, right? He's not doing good because he thinks he's a good guy, or he has this righteous desire. Like, I think he cares about humanity, but I think it's largely that demons made him angry, and now he's gonna punish them forever. I think that's his primary motivation. Yeah, I am curious to see the setting in the Cthulhu style universe, because I know the later game takes place there. I heard the story's pretty lame. Lame may be a little strong, but not as riveting as people hoped. But again, it's about a guy who's too angry to die. So, what do you expect? I think a low bar for story is acceptable. To me, as long as the story is something like a RoboCop or Terminator, those have very simple stories, right? But you enjoy the characters and it's okay if it's a little cliche or a little simple because there's just so much fun in how it's executed. I recently watched RoboCop 1 and 2 with my wife, who somehow never saw it, and she agreed that it was, maybe I'm elaborating her words too much, but charming, I guess. My wife is very picky about, like, if something looks quote unquote too old or too stylized, or like she has this just need for something to look and feel kind of realistic, or else she just gets disconnected. And RoboCop rode that line between parody and, 80s action movie fun just right. Yes. So I played the new RoboCop game, and something I should do is, when on the rare occasion I do play a game, I should stream it. But I played the new RoboCop game, and I really enjoyed it. Really, really enjoyed it. I wanted to play it even again, which I rarely do. Like, again, I put all my time into working on games, so the fact I wanted to play again is a really good sign. They just did a great balance of the action was great. They obviously had tons of homages to every little bit of the film, every little detail from the films, the environments, the characters, the everything. Just even how the story was told was very RoboCop. So if you were someone who is like, oh, this is a new RoboCop story and I expect something new, it's like, no, that's not what you're gonna get from this game. I'm sorry, like this is gonna be essentially a RoboCop 3 if it was told exactly the same as RoboCop 1 and 2. Which, if you're a fan of RoboCop, that should be all you watch. I'd rather have a licensed game just follow the trajectory of its license, instead of pushing too hard to break boundaries, at least initially, until you've kind of earned the respect of the fans. So I didn't play RoboCop again, just because it's a huge time sink. Like, what I really would have liked, and I know they have a new game plus. They added it after I finished, though. I also had some performance issues, if I recall. No, sorry, that was Doom 2016. Anyway, going through the story again, I just didn't want to do that since time is so precious to me. What I would have loved is just a action mode, like be RoboCop and just drop you into action scenes. It could be just the single player campaign and just you remove all the plot elements. It's just plop you into each fight scene or each battle or whatever you want to call it. Because that's really what I would, after playing the story and enjoying the story, I really don't need to see the story again. I just want to enjoy being RoboCop and kicking some bad guys' butts. Be right back. My wife has come home. I apologize. Uh, this inspires me. I should turn on some RoboCop music for myself. Now, unfortunately, you guys will not hear it. You're going to just hear the music from the game. The game being Fleet Tycoon. Because I don't want to get copyright striked. XO1. It sounds so familiar, but I want to make sure I am thinking of the right game. I am totally not thinking of the right game. I do remember seeing trailers for this game. It does look very cool. It's not my normal type of game I would play, but it does remind me of a game I made in high school. My game in high school is just, I was just learning 3D for the first time, like 3D graphics, and it was a stunt plane game. So all you did was you just had a plane, and your goal was to fly as close to the ground as possible. and there's randomly generated terrain. And so essentially you got points based on how close to the ground you were. And you got extra points if you could find canyons to fly in. I've always wanted to recreate that game because I think that I do feel like a little tiny $5 game with that would work. And actually that XO1 looks like what I should turn what if I was going to make a new stunt plane game. That's what it should kind of look like. It does look like there's a interesting, much deeper story going on in XO1. Which obviously they will not reveal in the trailer, so I can't comment on its emotions that it evokes, but it does seem kind of peaceful. It's not... I see. I'm glad XO1 was able to help. That is the cool thing about games, is that it can help people recover from tough times. Returnal, I don't know if you played Returnal, but Returnal, you might appreciate Returnal in the same way. If I was getting the right vibe watching that trailer, you will appreciate Returnal. On the surface, it is, you're an astronaut on a strange world with an alien signal. Same thing as XO1, investigating a strange signal. But things get very psychedelic. Well, maybe that's not quite the right thing. It gets weird. It gets funky. So, and there is a emotional vibe, secret. So give that a whirl. All right. Regarding development of the game, which I'm not doing a lot of, gotten very chatty, which by all means is a good thing. I'm just commenting on myself. All right, wind sync. So the flags don't match the flags of the flags don't match the wind. What am I going to name this thing? Very silly name. Flag wind matcher. Yes, I'm listening to RoboCop now. Imagine Doom Dark Ages. What aspect clicks with you the most? Really? The dragon. That is extremely intriguing opinion because the dragon is what everyone criticized the most. Everyone's like, the dragon sucks. I mean, people thought the design of the dragon was cool. They thought the gameplay of the dragon was not good. It's very interesting. Everyone enjoys games their own way. Water management. Like even the videos of the gameplay, videos of the dragon sections looks very meh. Same thing with the mech. It's just controlling like a bigger, slower version of the Doomslayer. Yes, of course, of course. I'm not saying that you can't have your own opinion. So for you, I mean, if you break down the game design, essentially for you, it sounds like it's the fantasy is what got you. So when you're talking in terms of game design, like there's many different hooks that get people intrigued. Um, one of them is fantasy. Another one is competition. Uh, Fantasy and story go together. Um, like I am more. I mean, I do enjoy the story, and I do like games where you kind of create your own story. So, like, I really enjoyed Civilization, especially as a kid, because you're building this history of your country, right? Um, so I do enjoy games of story, but I definitely, especially as I got older, um, I focused more on, I don't know, mechanical improvements. So, uh, Diablo, Path of Exile, these games where you can mechanically improve your character. Um, so to me, it's the power fantasy. Well, power fantasy doesn't always mean mechanically. Um, Power fantasy is a little bit of fantasy and a little bit of actual power, but it's the feeling that you're increasing in power. So I definitely enjoy that. The mechanical and the feeling that you are getting more powerful. So interestingly, you can make something feel more powerful without actually making it more powerful. I'm trying to remember some there. I do recall there were some famous examples of this. Uh, what was it? The sniper rifle in Halo. Uh, in Halo, I'm trying to remember. So exactly. There's a video about it. Essentially, the sniper rifle was too overpowered, and so they needed to balance it. And so they increased, I guess, the delay between shots or something. But then the playtesters were complaining, "Oh man, this sniper rifle sucks. Like it shoots too slowly." And then what they did, if I recall the story correctly, is they beefed up the appearance and the sound of the sniper rifle. So it just sounded more powerful. And then people said that the sniper rifle was good. So mechanically, it was actually weaker than its previous iteration, but effects-wise, the impact on your emotions was that the sniper rifle was more powerful and better. There's, I'm sure, many stories in game development like that. But yeah, for you, the fantasy of riding a dragon, that's what clicks. So for me, when I inevitably play Dark Ages, for me it's going to be the like finding my favorite weapon, upgrading it. Yeah. Which is interesting because it's not like just a medieval setting. Like it's sci-fi. It's just with a medieval twist to it. So, don't remember when I do the spiel on Fleet Tycoon. Fleet Tycoon is essentially a transport tycoon style game where you're just buying and selling stuff, but with a Balatro twist. So, there are a minimum of three gigantic upgrade trees. But you can only see the shadows of them until you find them. It may be possible to see in the street, but this tree is truly massive. So this is the skipper upgrade tree. This is my upgrade tree as a person leading this fleet of ships. Then there are upgrades which I can't show you because I haven't been promoted, but you'll see it soon. There's an upgrade tree per ship, and then there's an upgrade tree once you get promoted again for your entire fleet. These upgrades can be very tiny, like this one gives you turn speed, but then there are bigger ones that you can see in the distance. But there are these gigantic ones that like alter the ship or yourself, or what have you, in a substantial way. So that's where you get your explosive kind of power from. Let me just play a bit. So it is chill to a degree. So it's not frantic, I won't say that. But you have 3 minutes to out-earn your competitor. So like right now my competitor is winning. So I'm gonna go sell the fish I got and sell it at this town over here. Yes, right now that animation of selling is very chill. The ching 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 ching. Wait till you get upgrades and it's like a slot machine going. So now I've earned more than my competitor. So I just need to earn more than my competitor every 3 minutes. I am here to test it, so I'm going to go over here and explore. So besides fishing, there is you can transport passengers. You can also explore, which is what I'm working on at this time, fixing. So like for example, for some reason right next to town there's this ancient philosopher's statue, so I can pick that up and it gives me some experience. There's also shipwrecks which I could go explore. So I can go over here and investigate. And gold, and I can extract the gold from it. It is very much like there's the popular trend of incremental games, in that you can personally assist your ship. So I can mouse over the collection progress bar, and I can help the ship collect things faster. But as you get more ships, the less you can do. So treasure chest here, I can collect that for gold. The feature I'm working on right now is explorable points. So this is an explorable point, mysterious mound of dirt, so you can tell your ship to explore it, and eventually we'll see a landmark. Presume that code is looks like this. So you can see the landmark is starting to appear. Landmark should be rotated around. You can see it better. Now I've revealed the landmark, and I need to add UI. So there should be a mouse over count of these, but you can now, once you explore the landmark, you can extract them of their resources. So in this case, this has, you can read it, artifacts. So now I have picked up 6 artifacts, and this is actually going to be the first time I've actually tested this. Before. So you can pick up artifacts from the landmark and sell them. So there's supposed to be a mechanic where you can wiggle your mouse and make this way faster. That's weird. That used to work. Or maybe, did I not have it focused? No, that was weird. Anyway, so I beat my competitor, got 97 gold, they got 60. Great. Interestingly, I'm supposed to be able to sell. Let's see. 5. That's fun. Guessing I simply forgot. I hope so. That was a major goal of mine working on this game. This game is supposed to be, on the surface, exceedingly simple. Now, you've not seen the upgrade trees. All the complexities in the upgrade tree. Very strange about this structure. So I'm kind of inspired by Path of Exile in that regard. Very weird that the tutorial is clearly recognizing that I can sell you, but I can't actually sell. Oh, well, there's 2 resources. There we go. So now I can sell my artifacts. Works a lot. captain, I can now upgrade the ship. So let's go use our resources and see. Okay, Path of Exile is probably one of the most successful free-play games ever made. So you're going to see very quickly as I start taking these upgrade modes. Because I got myself that wrong. Alright. Fix on the bug. Yeah, Path of Exile is famous for its massive upgrade trees. So this is very similar. So interestingly, this is like the newbie area of the upgrade tree. So you'll see that there are these big upgrades. A lot more to them. These little guys, they're essential highways. So you'll see that there's clusters out here. That's why I was trying to differentiate. So this is actually a change in the recent version. Is that near the start, you just have these single nodes, but then when you get out here, it gets into clusters. Anyway, so I'm going to use this upgrade. This is one of the keystone upgrades. So Path of Exile is the same thing. You have these major upgrades on the tree. So this is the Exploring Specialist. Most importantly, it makes exploration upgrades cheaper, but it also helps your ability to discover and vision range and movement speed. So this is like picking a class for your ship. Like everything is done in the upgrade trees. You never make choices like in traditional ways. Almost all choices are done through the upgrade trees. So now this ship has the ability to explore and make maps. Pick up some cargo space so you can hold your stuff. View range is always good. As an exploring ship, it's good to this one is how fast I transfer things off of the ship. Cargo space. You just kind of wander around the tree looking for nodes that seem useful. But eventually, you're going to learn about some very big important nodes. This guy. Back to work. Plus momentum per sail. So that's a intangible resource. It's very similar to endurance charges in Path of Exile. So momentum is currency that's on your ship, and there's other upgrades that you'll find that may interact with that. So the game, like the real game, is trying to find the combinations of these keystone upgrades because they will give you exclusive. I want to buy a station. So on my personal tree. So this is my personal tree, as it says here. These upgrades are applied to whatever ship is selected. So you kind of can turn one ship into like a heroic ship by just selecting them, because they get all the benefits of their normal upgrade tree plus this. So those are the keystone upgrades that I like. Exotic goods, plus 1% sale price per kilometer purchase source. So this will, this is going to be very useful to the ship I'm starting to build here. So if you, I don't know, go fish on one side of the map, but you sell the fish on the opposite side of the map, you're going to earn way more gold than if you go fishing right outside the town where you're going to sell it. This is actually very much like transport Tycoon. The further your cargo travels. because this is on the skipper tree, this bonus is going to apply to whatever ship I currently have selected. But I'm looking for additional ships, so somewhere in this tree there are additional ships. You'll see as I expand, I also get sight of some of these special nodes. These are keystone insights. They allow you to see the keystone upgrade sooner. So it's actually these things. I'm going to go over here. And you'll see that it just made this guy show. And these guys will just reveal, no matter where they are in the upgrade tree, will reveal keystone upgrades. So I'm looking for the ship. Although this is intriguing, I will not worry about it quite yet. I'm really looking for the ship. So keep picking these up until I find the ship. Now I did find an upgrade. This makes your cartography faster. The ship. So see, it's starting to reveal these keystone. Okay, there it is. So this gives you an additional ship. Commodore Apprentice adds a ship to your fleet. So this allows you to get additional ships before you become Commodore. Commodore is the last rank. Work my way over there. This ship. I get the cheat fast forward, but for normal players, this is the upgrade they get. Very cheap. So this compound interest, 5% interest in delegation, 50% work rate, minus 50% personal work rate. So this makes it so that your ships work faster on their own, but you're sacrificing your personal work rate. So if you recall, I was wiggling over the collection icon to collect faster. Alright, thanks for dropping by. Good one. Thanks for saying hi. I'll check out your videos. That one's the two. How much benefit I get from mousing over the ship. But that's okay, it makes all your ships work faster. So delegation, because it's on the skipper upgrade, so it increase the work rate of the ship. Okay. Alright, this is my new ship. I'm going to make this ship a fishing ship. Fishing specialist. So just like a roguelike, inevitably, the more you play, the more familiar you are with the game's mechanics. So you will inevitably learn. Like, I want to make a fishing ship, I should make a fishing specialist. Not all keystones are super obvious about whether you not want them or not, but this one is literally designed to be like, hey, this will get you a jump start on fishing. Fishing ship, cargo space ones. Also want, this is a fun fishing upgrade. Dynamite fishing. You throw dynamite and blow up the fish. The downside is that you end up losing a lot of fishing efficiency, which means you get fish shot. Fish counter. You can make your explosives less damaging, but still collect requires I want just regular fishing upgrades. These are photography. This is early riser. So the early riser here gives you 80% work rate if your ship was fatigued within the last day, which I don't have anything. does just give you a flat 20% wind speed in the morning, regardless of fatigue. So yeah, you kind of end up exploring each upgrade tree. +1 fatigue per second with orders, otherwise -5 fatigue. You gain acceleration or lose acceleration per fatigue, but you get +100% work rate. So that makes the ship a lot faster. Now, if I have a way to get rid of fatigue, that would be great. Otherwise, your ship pretty much can't move once it's fully fatigued. But it would synergize with this. So now I just need a way to remove fatigue. Market rush is always nice. So this one consumes momentum. 2% sale price per momentum. But I don't have any momentum related thing. So see, that's what you're kind of doing. It's very much like Elatro, where you're looking for two cards that synergize. This is useful. This gives you +1 gold per fish. So that's useful to have on a fishing ship. And now I'm out of gold. But this one, since the boss is watching, +40% sales when the ship is in view, so 10%. This is good for the ship that you plan on looking all the time. So this may not be as good for the fishing ship because I'm not going to be use it. Go fishing there. Then I looped it. So it's just standard real-time strategy controls. Right-click on the fish, right-click on the dock, and then right-click on the ship. Yeah, it's just like the other thing. Now this ship, like 1 per second. Why is it so much slower than that? The default exploration speed is supposed to be not 1 per any second. So let's investigate that. You're going to helps to actually attach the debugger. Oh, it is. Discovery frequency is apparently super slow. Why is that? Because I should have used multiplier. That's why. I'm not sure if my code change is gonna, no. Code change is not gonna reflect. So the ship's just going to explore really slowly. Okay. Next time it'll be correct. Though I could upgrade it and fix it. I just need to find exploration speed upgrade, discovery speed upgrades. Just 40% sale price, but you are affected by going against wind. So this is not discovery frequency, this is discovery intensity, so it's how much of the map is drawn, how quickly the fog war is removed per cell. It's maybe I should simplify this because I realize this is very confusing. Essentially, each portion of the world has an amount of fog, an amount of exploration. So you actually have to explore the same area numerous times. So this essentially reduces how much you have to revisit the same area. I think I should just combine cartographic detail with frequency. I think people are just confused. So what will end up happening here is that I'm going to get more map fragments per tick. See, I got 10 this time instead of 5. Also, I do need to figure out the flag is... It kind of is. It's just not always lining up with the... See, like it's confused. Like it kind of wants to, but then it kind of doesn't. Very weird. I wasn't paying attention to see if I was outdoing my competitor. I definitely am. The wiggle is not working. Why? Ah, that's why. That unfortunately, oh, it did. Hey! Alright, so this exploration ship earned so much money by getting those artifacts. I think the artifacts are a little OP. Because the funny thing is, I still have more artifacts. I love watching the AI ships. About the slot machine. Out of range. Just because it's not yet. Demand is gone too. I've sold too many artifacts in this museum. So that's an interesting mechanic that has not shown up yet. demand has been part of the game for a while. The fact that the demand got so low because the bait, it's not worth it. The artifact is usually worth a lot. Now with fish, if you look at the fish market, I've worn it down, but I'm selling constantly, and the demand is going down, but it's still above 100. It takes a while to bring time to fish. Let's go find one in the museum. Go explore it. This is an exploration ship. The cool thing is you can kind of shift right click and queue up orders. Kind of let them do their own thing. Exploration ship is earning a ton of money, and it's because the artifacts are probably valued too much. It was actually my first time ever selling artifacts. Money, I should spend it. So it must work right when out of view. This would be useful on my fishing ship because I'm not staring at them. Transfer speed is, or bulk transfers is very good for a exploration ship because you end up having lots of, you're going through a treasure chest and you only can pick up one gold at a time without those upgrades. This adds fatigue for a plus 25% gold per sale. So this is a similar issue I was having where I need a weight, I need a pressure release valve. I need something to remove fatigue. There are upgrades that remove fatigue, such as this. Fish fry removes. Oh no, this only increases self. There is an eating one where it relieves fatigue. There's also a sleeping one. Here's the survey frequency. So this, taking it slow, if I have momentum and fatigue, increases work rate 5% per pair for 60 seconds, which is incredible stacking potential. Out of gold, but I need to get key insights so I can see the insights. I think we could do a cool synergy of momentum and fatigue. Get my fatigue from here. There. So you can queue upgrades. Mentioning earlier, I have these cheap portable monitors. They are, I burned apparently my to-do list into one of them. That's also I'm collecting super fast. But there's a discovery. My discovery rate has helped a lot. So that's Machu Picchu. I can take things from there, but I am currently full on cargo, so I gotta find. Looking for a town with a museum. Over here, do you have a museum? I did not beat my competitor, apparently. Clearly, I was propped up by my selling of artifacts. Get waivers. I just picked up a waiver. That will allow me to miss periods. If you have no waivers and you miss periods, then you just lose the game. There's a museum. That museum is, so I need to. I wrote a note to myself to fix this, but for now I have to go through each museum and remove their accidental extra receiver. I can sell. 120 gold per. Yes, that is. Oh man, the exotic goods are being triggered. That was very fast, but that was a lot of gold. So it traded so fast because I got a few trade item rate bulk selling. Now you'll see that I'm actually not selling the maps I'm accumulating because each map tier is worth more. So you'll see that I get map fragments, right? Map fragments turn to regular maps. Regular maps turn into detailed maps, and detailed maps turn into atlases. And atlases are worth metric crap ton. All this fish. That's why I'm not making much money. So I need to add. Man, they've got a whole bunch of the ships going on here. Discovery ship earning 3,000 gold. Queue up a few fishing spots and then sell. And then I'm gonna spend some of this gold and make the fishing ship better. So this ship, we're going for momentum, weren't we? Also wanted to try fatigue. So this gives you more gold for fatigue. We just need a way to get rid of fatigue. This is manual delegation. We don't care about that. So delegation increases the work rate just by, but you lose your ability to, not lose it, but reduce your ability to wiggle. Who cares about that? This consumes fish in exchange for this rewards you for having rations in your ship. Get rations every 5 seconds. So this does, you get a little bit of a sale boost just by having it, but it's better, even better if you find something that gives you rations. What's this? Night Owl, 40%. You gain momentum at night. You lose momentum during the morning. Those do synergize. How well do they synergize? So essentially at night you'd get the most benefit. So this resets your fatigue. Essentially at night, which would be useful. Wasn't I going to do something like this? Yes. Work rate if you've been fatigued. Well, I need something that causes fatigue. This gives you a reward for fatigue. Ah, exotic goods. This is going to be useful because my ship is fishing from far away. This is just gambling. This is just a 1% chance an item will sell for 5 times its normal value, so that's a free gold on a rare occasion. Work rate went out of view. That's good. This is more 1% chance to sell for 5 times its normal value. This is just another period, or 1%. This doesn't make really much sense to be a ship upgrade. Oh look, we got another one of those. Slightly, so I've kind of entered the fishing area here. So this is social schools, 10% chance to get fish of another rarity. This is fish and fish, 5% chance to get essentially 2 fish instead of 1. This is goldfish. There's a 1% chance to get fish sell for 10 times the normal value. So that is all awesome. Bonus work rate when your quota is not fulfilled. When your goal is not fulfilled, which, sure. I tend to either super exceed them or not. Without a goal. Okay, now that's how fast it is. And even if I help, you can't even tell that I'm helping that much. Fishing a lot. Oh my goodness, they have a lot of ships. It is like oh, I have double exotic goods going on because I have exotic goods on myself, and I am currently selecting the ship, and the ship has exotic goods. Our other ship do nothing though. So really what I should do is, how many more? I should extract the artifacts from there and then sell them over here. Because then I'm getting the benefit of exotic goods. My market rush starts triggering. If I was catching more rare fish, I would be running more gold per. I mean, I'm running out of. Oh, it's a race. Go to the treasure chest. Maybe I can get more gold. Last moment here. Jerk, stealing my fish. See, it's just minus 3,000 because I wasn't controlling him to explore. You can see how much more gold my individual upgrades are earning. To me, this screen is very useful, but Some players just totally just close the X button every time. They just never look at how much their ships or their upgrades are doing. To me, that's so wild. Hey, you do you. You do you. He has one Atlas. I want essentially always have Atlases. And you're going to sell over here. So this should make a lot of money. It's very exciting. This is the first time I actually seen Discovery work, and I'm actually pairing it with upgrades. Very exciting. Oh, I've been promoted to Commodore. I didn't even notice. I'm listening to the colonization soundtrack for the original 1994 colonization game. The music is fantastic. Been really into the MIDI. I don't know, it's retro MIDI and or PC speaker music. So Commodore upgrades are applied to the entire fleet. So like every one of these turn speeds are helping all my ships. Perpetually. And so you get some crazy stacking with these keystones. So like this burns away fatigue, which is useful. This would be useful. This would apply to any ship that has fatigue. Right now I don't have any ships with fatigue, but eventually I will. Oh, this is this burns away fatigue, and this earns fatigue. These two would work well by themselves, and they both give you gold. Essentially, these are like opposites of each other. Very interesting. I need gold. It's too slow. So I have not been upgrading myself. So there is order queuing in here somewhere. This is purge. This would purge the fatigue, but that's only on. This is only in the skipper right now. So we need. This is turn speed. Oh, that's on skipper. I was looking for something specifically here. What was it? Oh yeah, order queuing. There it is. I did not need to pick that up. It's not the end of the world, but now all my ships are picking up maps. Which is not always desired, because then you should sell them occasionally. Alright, so that allows me to shift click to queue up. this is great for a fishing ship. Kind of tempted to pick up just a bunch of these navigations. That will essentially offset all the movement speed I just lost. I don't know if that was a good use of my experience, but it is what it is. Now that ship's much faster when he's selected. Oh, there's no exploration site. This goes by so fast. So he's fully explored this path. See, you'll see there's no more fog of war here. The night owl is triggered, you saw, and then you start fishing much faster. And then you just got plus 20% sail because you got fish fry. Earning nearly as much. Well, that's interesting. Good. This is not going away. I think I beat my competitor. I need to find a new museum. Is this museum? Yeah, he's back with the 200% demand. So for you to just do that. Here I am looking. I should be buying ships. There are numerous ship purchasing opportunities on the fleet. On the Commodore's skill tree. I really want to do this. There's a fishing ship, sure. I have enough gold. Negotiate 190 gold for one fish. Yeah, the challenging negotiations, that synergy, the fleet synergy is working real well. First, I've now burned up that museum. We have no demand for new artifacts. I'll find another. So I think I need to make the the museums lose interest very fast. I think they need to have a longer interest, but price per artifact would be a bit cheaper. I'm making as much money on exotic goods because I'm not selling artifacts as much as I was. And I'm running out of fishing spots because the AI is fishing my spots, fishing my scooters. Fishing ship has to go all the way over here. So, exotic goods will get me more gold per fish, so I actually kind of don't mind the longer trip. Oh, this burns off fatigue in the morning. I kind of, as long as I don't reach 100% fatigue, I actually kind of want fatigue now because I have that upgrade on the fleet that gives me more sale prices the more fatigued my ship is. So I'm picking up cargo space, transfer. This gives more gold per fatigue as well. But it doesn't change the fatigue. This increases my fatigue. That actually, oh, this would. So it's here, I can queue, so I can queue that, queue that. I also want some move speed on the ship. I don't have any move speed nodes that are visible to me. There's these, but these cost experience. Experience becomes more rare the further you get in the game. This gives you momentum, which makes you faster. Nothing navigation's great and all, but cost experience. Oh, this is high speed, low drag. That is good speed. Costs a pretty penny, but I have plenty of pretty pennies to spend. So this is fish conservation, so just make sure it will stop fishing once it gets down to fish, which then the schools of fish replenish faster. But if the AI is going to be stealing all my fish, it may not matter. Here's straight speed. Here's a straight fishing rate. Here is early bird, 80% fishing rate in the morning, and plus 2% for momentum. I grab momentum. That's fantastic. And I have fatigue now, so I can pick up this. Shift like this. And this is good. This consume one fish, but you get 100% sale price. It's just doubling your sale price. Too bad these fish aren't worth a lot because they're triggering all the upgrades. Catch more interesting fish than common fish. See, he's starting to get fatigued, but that helps because we have those two upgrades and increased sale price based off of. Ooh, ran into a bug. That is definitely interesting. I want to see that happen. Oh, it's because the fatigue got too high. Because one of these things has a work rate of 0. That's actually okay. Funny. My ship is so fatigued that he got a negative work rate. Turn off AirPods like a bad kitty. Let's see the fit. That's funny. Satisfactory completion is making these very cheap fish. Ooh, man, they're selling fast to me. It's making these cheap fish. They're worth only 1 gold, actually, worth something. The work rate is 0%. I cratered my ship. It's too tired. I need something to release. That would do it. The cost experience. Oops. Okay, so that should moving an upgrade from border queue should upgrade queue should update. Two numbers and buying an upgrade should remove the queue number. I'm surprised. I'm pretty sure I'm refreshing on every purchase, so I'm surprised that that didn't update. So that will purge some fatigue, but only on sale. I kind of need the sleeping one. Find the sleeping one. Oh, well, this would help reset it. Well, temporarily. And morning. I don't know if that's actually an issue. Is that you definitely can break your ships with the right upgrades. Essentially doing all the fishing for this ship now. Hey, getting a beat at least. Need to limit the number of competitor ships. I have not been watching the exploration ship. He was doing a lot better. They doubled. What are you doing? You're doing nothing. Where's the hound? Only has corn. Oh, actually, it may have museum just because I bugged the museum. Yeah, fun fact, you can find things just by mousing over them. I don't know if I should allow that, but so I made a note to myself to fix museums in general, but during this playthrough I'm gonna have to do it by hand. got it good. So it's so far away from where I picked him up. I think the game's gonna end here. Did I choose end this one, or did I choose... Oh, that's a problem. Means that there should be a way for you to see. Just me, or... I feel like the top, the objective thing isn't showing up. My goodness, I can just... I have gold, I should use it. I guess she went through and bought all those things. Nice. Yeah, that's a bug. I don't think I need to work. I really need to purge the fatigue problem. I want social schools, but I don't want to get dynamite. That's always a good upgrade. Just gives you momentum. There's no real downside to it. Fish is always nice, no downside. Just luck. Good night's sleep. That, I don't think that's going to be powerful enough. Only -3 fatigue per 10 seconds? I thought there was something that did more. Where is... I need to see keystones. I just not found any keystone key insights, just regular insights. hero, that is very powerful. Every time he loops through his orders, he gets +1 gold per sale. So that's not gonna help. You can't get rid of the fatigue. Maybe this is gonna save me. Taking it slow. So slow. We picked up 12 artifacts to the south. I need gold. Gold coming in. And fatigue has been purged. Yes. So many because it's common fish. Not all the multipliers is not doing that. It should. Oh, there, now it's fast. That's the fatigue is not a problem. I've written that down fixed. Oh, it was 10 successful periods and I failed one. So I won. And look at the new art. Look at the victory art. It is beautiful. I was so invested in those 2 ships, I didn't even buy any more. Enjoying the art. Add a keep playing button. I think I have that written down, I just haven't. Because I kind of want to like take a look at my ships and stuff. Yeah, those 2 ships. I mean, the Discovery ship never even sold its maps. Well, that was a full game. That was 30 minutes. It's very interesting. Like Fleet Tycoon, like once the game gets going, it's very, to me even, it's a very addictive. There are definitely some minor annoyances besides the bugs that obviously I'm fixing, but there's minor just as a player annoyances. There is that fear of you get a new ship and you're like, oh god, I have to go upgrade it. But the funny thing is that once you're upgrading, you're thinking, you're engaged. So the Commodore ships, the ships you buy with the Commodore, once you're Commodore rank, those have upgrades already purchased. In fact, I'm going to so right now they only I was going to buy that fishing ship. If I bought the fishing ship, it would have automatically come with fishing specialization, but that's just one upgrade. So I want to, upon hearing that feedback about the oh god, I bought a new ship and it's annoying because I have to go upgrade it, I want to make it so that the Commodore specific ships, if you buy a straight fishing ship, it will have fishing specialization pre-bought. It will also have a whole bunch of the fishing rate upgrades pre-bought, and that should make getting a new ship, a specialized ship, not as much like, oh god, I have to upgrade by hand. It'll be already good to go at the task. There's also, you can still buy generic ships too, so kind of choose what you want. Alrighty, well that was fun. I think I talked less maybe because I was so absorbed, but I did chat a lot earlier. Thank you FB3 Network for hanging out. I think I'm going to call it quits. It is almost midnight in Japan, and I should probably do some other things, but tomorrow evening maybe I will stream again. So thank you all. Have a good night. Thanks for chatting. It was good.